An AI just built a complete, playable Godot game. Not a template. Not a snippet. A full project, scenes, scripts, assets wired together, generated autonomously by Claude Code. And it did it by reading a list of skills. That's the core idea behind GodoGen. You define what a game needs: movement, collision, a health system, and enemy patrol loop as modular skills. Claude Code reads those skills and assembles them into a working Godot project. No human in the loop writing the actual code. Let's talk about what that actually looks like in practice. A skill in GodoGen is basically a structured description. It tells the agent, here's a capability, here's how it connects to other capabilities, here's what the output should look like in GD script. Think of it like a recipe card for one mechanic. Jump physics. A coin pickup. A game over screen. Each one is isolated and described precisely enough that the agent can implement it without guessing. The agent, Claude Code, then chains those skills together. It creates the scene tree, writes the scripts, links the nodes. When you open the output in Godot, it runs. That's the surprising part. This isn't code that almost compiles. It's a game you can press play on. The repo on GitHub shows several example outputs. A top-down shooter. A basic platformer. A simple puzzle layout. These aren't impressive by commercial standards, but they're structurally complete. Enemy AI moves. The player takes damage. The win condition triggers. The architecture is clean enough that a developer could take it and build on it. But here's the thing, and this is where we have to be honest: the games GodoGen produces right now are shallow. The skill library is limited. If you want procedural level generation, dialogue trees, save systems, or anything beyond the basics, those skills don't exist yet. You'd have to write them yourself. And writing a good skill description that Claude Code can reliably execute is itself a non-trivial task. It requires understanding how Godot structures projects and how the agent interprets instructions. It's not a one-click game factory. What surprised me was how brittle the skill chaining becomes at scale. 2 or 3 skills? Solid. 6 or 7. The agent starts making assumptions about how nodes connect that don't always match what you intended. The more complex the game, the more the output needs human review and correction. So right now, GodoGen lives in a narrow sweet spot: simple game archetypes, small scope, clean architecture. There's also no art generation here. The output uses Godot's placeholder assets or nothing at all. What you get is pure logic and structure. Visuals are completely on you. So what could this realistically become? The skill system is the interesting part. If the community or the original developer builds out a rich library of validated skills, the range of games GodoGen can produce expands significantly. Imagine a curated set of 50 skills covering the most common game mechanics. Suddenly you can describe a roguelike in a config file and get a working skeleton in minutes. That's not speculation, that's just more skills. There's also a real use case in game jams. Developers under a 48-hour deadline could use GodoGen to scaffold the boring structural code and spend their time on the creative parts: the feel, the art, the twist mechanic that makes the game memorable. The agent handles the plumbing. Longer term, this approach, skills as first-class units that an agent assembles, could become a standard workflow layer between game designers and production code. Not replacing programmers, but compressing the distance between idea and prototype. Now, why does this exist? Godot has been growing fast. It's open source, it's powerful, and since Unity's pricing controversy in 2023, a huge wave of indie developers moved to it. But Godot's learning curve is real. GD script is approachable, but wiring a full project from scratch takes time, even for experienced developers. GodoGen is essentially an answer to the question, what if the boilerplate just wrote itself? The deeper motivation here is about AI coding agents graduating from autocomplete to authorship. GitHub Copilot fills in lines. Claude Code, when given the right structure, can own an entire project layer. GodoGen is a proof of concept for that idea in a creative domain where the output is immediately testable. You press play. It either works or it doesn't. That feedback loop is brutal and honest, which makes it a great stress test for autonomous coding agents. If you're a game developer watching this, the honest verdict is, not production ready, but genuinely useful as a scaffolding tool if you invest time in the skill definitions. If you're an AI developer, the architecture here is worth studying, the skill abstraction is clean and the prompting strategy is documented in the repo. Next episode, we're looking at an AI tool that reads customer support tickets and automatically routes them with accuracy numbers that genuinely surprised us. Subscribe so you don't miss it.